Hello guys, Alex Ferdov here, and today we have an amazing guy, amazing person, and one of our clients in e-commerce scaling secrets program, Dante. What's your last name? I'm very
Oh
bad.
damn, this is actually pretty hard, and that's why I'm going to rebrand my name. It's like Danietje Goedhart, but none of my employees are able to say it the correct way. It's like Dante or Dante, and Goedhart is like impossible. So I will probably go with D Goedhart or something. Just Goedhart in English.
Dante, it's not about me, it's not about me, it's about you, my man. So Dante is an amazing guy. He's operating in Dutch, German, Sweden, like some European markets. And he's doing $600,000 per month. Today, he'll basically share some of the things that in some of the systems as well, how he uses to automate his business. You're using dropshipping model, correct?
Yeah, we do currently, but the goal is to slowly be transitioning in more of like brand building.
Okay.
And I think the same is for you as well, right? And you're currently more into
that's the direction. We now basically, working on improving our business as a whole, like to make it
more long-term business, more recurring customers.
Yeah, we just wanna sell it at this point, the current business that we've built, because I see opportunities in other directions. But that's for us.
How we see it right now is like we always really focused on like mass production, like testing 5 products in 6 different countries and as automated as possible. But then when we really analyzed our business, we noticed that like most of the money is lost in product tests that really don't generate any profit. It's like the biggest amount of expenses in our company. So I see it now as we have the minimum viable test. That's where you do test the product with as minimum effort as possible, basically.
How much would you spend on testing the product in terms of ad spend?
Like really, really decide like if it's a product that we're going to continue, and I would say it's the next phase would be like double downing on the product. I would say maybe if the spend is €100 and we see the cost per click is like €1 or more and the CPM is completely shit, then we already abandon the product. But we do want to transition into like more upfront research, so we actually can have more trust into the product before we actually start working on it. So we have our complete team working on things that actually work. But let's say €100, 50 to €200 or €300, and in that phase, we kind of decide what the next step for the product will be, and then transition into like the new phase that will be like double downing on the product, we call it. And that's basically generating as much profit in a short amount of time, because we operate in countries that are not so big, right? Like Sweden is only like 10 million and Denmark is like 5, Norway is the same. Germany is larger, but still. And then in the double downing phase, we would improve like the price, we would improve the landing page, search for new content that we can test on the product to improve the cost per click. Then you will have like after that you will have like the third phase, so you go from minimum viable test to double down and then transition into the minimum viable brand, basically. And that's where you really start to put a lot of love in the product, and that we are currently working on our first minimum viable brand.
That's awesome.
I already created a brand like 2 years ago. And I put lots of love in it, and the revenue was okay, and it's still generating revenue pretty automatically. I only have one person like managing everything, and then we have customer service team, of course, but basically it's completely outsourced. And then after that, I saw people in the industry like scaling to 600K months, 800K months, like even 1 million. And I also saw it in my network, the close connections. And then we kind of had like FOMO, right? It was like, man, we should.
Well, like FOMO fucking is the worst fucking thing ever. It's like, like what I'm missing out on. And it's so fucking hard, man. I think this fucking change, it's like, fuck. because drop shippers, for example, right? Like, so you start drop shipping, you figure out how to sell stuff, right? Like you can like package, repackage, you can position the product different, like you know how to sell it, right? But then that transition from like drop shipping to something that's more long term, you have to invest into inventory, product development, design, you know, like creative, like all of those things. I think that's pretty much probably the biggest like obstacle, right? Like mental obstacle in terms of like,
it's with our first brand, we really approached it like, man, we have to do everything perfect. All has to be perfect. The website has to be perfect. The product has to be top notch. The customer service has to be great. Everything has to be like perfect. And then we really spent like almost half a year or even a year on really building that brand. And when I look back, it was like, man, we could have done it so much faster. Like we completely made a custom website. We made the sickest packaging, and it looks amazing. But only after that we noticed that our customers don't give a fuck. Like they and that was like, man, we invested so much time in this because we like this, right?
That's one fucking question, right? Like if you ask yourself,
do you actually like does our customer actually care, right? We could have just sent out a type form or something, and then we would have known, and then we just did it the easy way, like just with a Shopify template and just go slow with it. But we went all in on it. So for the next time, we had a lot of learnings. And we will definitely approach brand building in a different way right now. We will just don't see it as a big fucking mountain that we have to climb. It's just like take small steps towards improving the quality. Like that will be probably the first step, like improve product quality and make sure it's like the best, right? Because that's what matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the website is super flashy and awesome and if everything is cool. Like it just has to convert. Like that's in the end, that's the goal of the website. So for now, we will probably test with gem pages or something first, see how that converts, and only after that we will really transition into a custom Shopify coded team.
Man, I mean, I think you mentioned such fucking good points, right? Like if you think about it, right? Because I mean, a lot of people that are watching, you know, they're like 100, 200, you know, in our community, you know, the people like doing like fucking numbers, right? Like drop shipping. And that fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and then like when you say like brand building, it's like, as you said, it's like people perceive it as something like fucking, oh, it's a brand. Like they imagine like it has to be like fucking perfect, as you said. It has to be in the fucking retail stores. It has to be like fucking, I don't know. Yeah. But it could be like few changes with the product, few changes with the packaging, like just fucking better experience for customer. Maybe shipping, faster shipping. You know, it's like
I think if you only like make sure the product quality is good. The customer service is fast and in point and actually speaks the language of the customers. And the shipping is also fast, so you buy stock and you made the biggest steps already to like long-term satisfied customers. And that will be the first steps. And only after that, you will be slowly making sick content, awesome website, but just begin with the things that are actually the most important. And that will be customer satisfaction, because that in the end, that's your goal, right? For building a brand. Making sure that the customers will return.
We evaluate businesses now, like, you know, that we want to acquire, and it's like I see some of like some drop shippers, they list their websites, right? Like, okay, sure, like listed like, oh yeah, last year we've done like 3 million, 5 million. Okay, fine, you know, it's like good profit margins and stuff, right? Like, so then we see the stats, like basically it's like fucking return customer rate of like 2%. Yeah, of like 2%. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? I mean, you know, it's like people don't want to buy from you. Like, you know, it's like either you start like farming accounts, like all of this like complicated setup, which we know how to do, right? You figured it out, like we figured it out, like how to do that. But it's like, I mean, what value of that business? If you don't sell product profitably today, you don't make any extra money from that customer, right? Because they had shitty experience.
I think that's maybe even like one of the biggest learnings from our e-commerce career. Like we are constantly working and building on things that just die, right? I'm investing all my time in something, and in the end, I think I have used 100 Shopify URLs websites at the moment. Like I can scroll to the Shopify history list and I'm like, what the fuck did I do, right? I even made like a Drawio file where you have like all the logos that we created in the past. But if I for example, like 2 years ago, I created a course myself as well. And I don't really invest so much time in it anymore because social presence can kind of be intense. People starting to expect from you more and more eventually, and you are probably experiencing that as well. But what I do notice is that I just really, my goal was with, of course, to provide as much value as possible, and also, of course, like money and sales. But the fun thing is that like 2 years later, as of today, it's still being purchased, the course. And I don't even invest a second in it. Like only I have one person doing some customer service.
Hey guys, people have been asking me how we scale to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook. And we have a very sophisticated solution for this that I want to share with you, but it's just like too valuable to give away for free. So if you guys want this solution, just book a call with one of my team members and we'll show you exactly what it is and how it works, and we'll see if that's a good fit for you and for your business. So just book a call with my team member. We'll share it with you so you can scale your business to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook, without having inconsistency, and with high profitability. So just book a call with my team and I'll see you there.
That really opened my eyes. Like if you really provide value and if customers really like it and the word of mouth will be there, then in the long term, the compound interest on the things you create, and if it actually keeps on living forward, that's where you will really be creating the passive income, right? Because that's where you can really build a team that also has like feeling and emotion behind it, and you actually be attracting more talent towards your company as well. Because a month ago I was interviewed by a guy from the newspapers, and it's called the Volkskrant here in the Netherlands. It's a pretty big newspaper, and I can tell all of kind of amazing things about my business, how we build the systems, how we build the team, and how I'm doing the calls with the team, like 30 employees. What is the revenue that we generate? All that kind of things. It's awesome to hear. But if he eventually asks me like, what is the actual brand that you're having, then I'm almost like, man, I'm not sure if I want to show you this, because deep inside I know that it's not the amount of value that I'm able to provide in the world. So that's also like, and then I started reading, what was the name? Well, I'm not sure, but
how old are you, man?
23.
Holy fuck. You guys are so fucking young. Fuck.
Oh.
I'm like 30. Like, I'm saying,
Yeah.
You guys are like, you started 30. Like,
Oh,
but
man,
you know,
I-
like, the fact that you have these fucking exploits, like 23, like I was fucking smoking weed. Like, you know, it's like, I was lost, man. Like,
Oh, I definitely had that phase in my life as well. When I was 16, 17, 18, 19, it was complete bullshit, only partying, be drunk every weekend. My life turned complete other way around. Like back then, I didn't even think about improvement or growth or self-development. I didn't even know these words. And now my whole life is like built around growth and success. And
the way I see it, like if you have these things like at such young age, you know, this like, okay, so you figure out like this is bad thing to do, you know, this is good thing to do, you know. So but you had those learnings at the early age, right? Which gives you like that advantage because now you can do things smarter, right?
Oh, 100%. Like sometimes the results are not as good as I would like them to be in the business. But then again, I would reflect on my life and how things went. And then I would see things from 2 years ago. And I was like, I'm like, damn, I was a complete retard like back then. And I didn't went to college, or I dropped out. I have no certificate at all. So I could see this whole journey and the things that I'm doing at the moment as my kind of college, right? My university. It's the way I'm learning things by just practicing it in real and having a real business and learning from it, making stupid mistakes, then fixing it. And I think that's the fastest way to really learn things, because it's all practical knowledge. But it is of course risky. Like I do understand that it's not for everyone, but I do really love this good heart university, I would call it, like my own way of learning.
That's awesome, man. Let's go more tactical. People probably want to hear like, well, there's a specific like tactics, like how do you... So like what was that before? Like, so you said that you've realized your biggest waste is specifically in those markets, right? So it's more like general stores, right? Like you're testing products and then you kind of like proceed with those that are doing well, and then you expand those products to other countries. Is that correct?
In the beginning, when we had a big team, our approach was like, okay, it will be faster if we translate everything, because then we can move the products from like create, import, Shopify product page, create us, then to translate, and it will all be translated. And then everything can be launched at once. But if you do that approach, and you do that with products that are not profitable, and let's say you have a 10% winning rate of the products that you test, you will really, really, really burn your money, right? Because it's 50 to 100 euros spent times 5 products a day, times 5 countries, 6 countries, then you're just blowing 1,000 euros of ad spend testing in a day. So then we kind of was, okay, guys, let's slow it down. Let's just test it in the market that works best for us at the moment, or the market that we understand the best. So that will be the Netherlands and Belgium, or Sweden, that's currently working the best for us. And as soon as the product performs in that country, we will really analyze and do kind of a deep dive in the product. Currently, we made a new thing that we will also research, like the product psychology. We didn't do it back then, but we will be doing it as of now. That at the moment that the product has a specific metrics, like let's say 500 euros spent with a ROAS of 3+, so it's profitable for us. Then we will do deep dive on the product. We will find the benefits, the pain points of the customer, and some social proof, and maybe even already start building our own content. We didn't do it as well, but we are doing it right now because it really decreases our cost per click. And then we will move with all that knowledge and improvements to the other countries, and then the rate of success will be way higher, and we can scale much faster. And be way more profitable, and it will just be less burning money and more profit. So that's I think that's a very good transition. Just start slow, check the product actually works. Only if it works, then double down on the product.
So rapid testing, basically, like specific budget, either works or it doesn't. Next. But then also you do like more work upfront, like to actually validate the product. Right?
Yeah, we had like, okay, the KPI was of the research team was, okay, find 30 products a day and then approve 5 products a day that we will actually be testing. So there's already a big filter. Now we went even back to only 3 products a day.
So how would you, by what criteria would you qualify or disqualify the product from further testing?
Well, how should I say? We have been doing it a bit on feeling, but if you want to outsource things to your other employees, they might not have the right or the same feeling or the same experience as if we are having, because we are already doing this for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So our conclusion was like, okay, we cannot outsource things that are based on feeling. They have to be based on metrics. So then we transitioned into like hard metrics for everything. It will just be like, if you can't find X amount of good videos already in the market, then we are not going to test it. If the margin is not, let's say, 25 euros plus, then we're not going to test it. And if the break-even ROAS is above 1.5, then we're not going to test it. So the metrics are pretty harsh, I should say right now, strict. And that's just because it's like a foolproof way of finding products, and there can almost be no mistakes made because the metrics are there. But if
you can always adjust them as well, right? Let's say like, okay, so this might be like too strict, like we almost find like no products, right? Then you might kind of like loosen them up, right? Like a bit, kind of like those criteria. You can always adjust them.
Yeah. I think our metrics our KPIs were too loose, and now we make them more strict because we blew so much money on failed product tests. But now it's 100% outsourced, the research outsourced, everything is almost like outsourced in our team, and it's just, now it comes down to making a system. I would call it like a control room is how we call it almost, that just we are not measuring, of course we are dealing with people and are managing people, but in the end we want to be measuring the KPIs and the metrics and the things that actually can't be measured. So that's kind of a challenge for us right now. How are we going to build a dashboard where everything comes together, right? So what are the products that we found yesterday? What are the products that we launched yesterday? Have we found new winning creators? Have we found new winning products? What's the revenue generated? So all the metrics that actually matter for our company. And then we would, we have, this is our office here in the Netherlands. We have like, I would say 6 Spartans is how we call the team here. And we don't want to spend too much time onto that business anymore, the dropshipping business, because we want to transition into value building. Like we don't even want to be hunting money anymore. We would look at hunting value vouchers, right? So it's not like we sell you this and you give me this amount of euros. We see the euros as value vouchers. That's what we will be hunting in the future. So it will all come down to how much value are we able to provide to the customers. We can only 100% automate the dropshipping business if you have hard metrics and like good management and things, people I can trust. And we are also thinking about, I'm not sure if it feels to me like the Philippine people, and our team is mostly Philippine, that they don't like being paid based on performance basis as much as we do. Like if I will be paid on performance basis, I would give it my all, right? I feel like they just want to have, this is my salary and this is what I can expect, and just this is what I want to earn.
These are the days I'm working from 9 to 5, and that's it. You know, that my answer. Like we never could. I couldn't make it work with like Filipino people. I couldn't. Like I would fucking press them, and they would fucking they would collapse, and like that's it. You know, it's like, oh no, okay. So our team is more like in Eastern Europe, because those people I can press, you know, and they can actually perform well under pressure.
Okay, yeah, maybe we should start thinking about. We need
our media buyers, like Ukraine, Poland, like Russia. So these are good, you know. Like we find
Western. Okay, yeah. What we like Philippine, and I don't want to talk negative because it's super positive, because Philippine people are like immense workers. They work hard. They do what is asked, but that's also kind of sometimes where it ends, like really thinking out of the box and coming up with solutions, seeing the metrics and be like, okay, this is the top of end funnel and the cost per click is too high, CPM is too high. How can I actually solve this? And it'll be more like,
that's critical.
Put it off and then it's just done, but instead of looking for a solution.
Exactly. That's critical thinking, right? And I think that might be like lacking in some countries, not because people are bad or, you know, people are not smart, but because just of the culture, you know?
Yeah.
Because they like throughout the I don't know, thousands of years or something, like they've been suppressed, or you know what I mean? Like it's by other countries.
So it will be perfect, and you already did it too, but we are going to do this, like have someone with ownership who's also like paid based on performance, who will be then the team leader of Philippine people be under him. I think that will be a good way to do it. And eventually we want to have a native media buyer in all countries that we are marketing, because I feel like you can only really solve the things and really improve products and really look for just hyper performance of the products if you understand the actual language that you are marketing.
For sure. And culture, right? And culture.
Culture as well, yeah.
Culture, the mentality of people.
And even that's just standard basic things, but only as of like 2 months ago, we had the right payment methods in all countries. Before that, we kind of guessed, but I never did like real market or culture research. Mm-hmm. And now we had like conversations with our employees who are from Sweden, or for example, the translators. We were like, what are actually the payment methods that you're using? And Google it as well, of course, but also talk about it. And also like, what are the shipping methods that are most trusted? And eventually, maybe we're kind of even forced to do this, but we want to buy stock as well and then have it in those countries. Mm-hmm. That's maybe also because we're forced because of the VAT rule change. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, 100%. That's definitely something we have to work on. Like have people who like the ownership and are just like hustlers, right? Critical thinking. Mm-hmm. And about this as well, it came to mind last week or something. If I really hire someone, am I then looking for the right skills in the individual? Because I can hire a Facebook media buyer who knows what ROAS is, cost per click, CPM. But in the end, you can Google all that, right? And I can teach him or her in one conversation, and then he would know all the things that I want him to know. The real things that I'm looking for is, are you an analytical person? Are you like an engineering kind of person? Do you like critical thinking? Do you like checking metrics all day, looking for solutions. And that's not something that you can learn someone, right? That has to be in there.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be like the type of personality. It has to be, I guess, the IQ, man, as well. Like, some people are more fucking intelligent than others. Like, you know, that's fucking it.
That's just it. Yeah.
In Amazon, like, or, you know, like, you read the book about Amazon's, like, from day one, like, Jeff Bezos, like, would only hire, like, people, I don't know, maybe he gave them, like, an IQ test, but say, like, only need fucking intelligent people, very high fucking intelligence level, you know? And it's like, or like software company or Google, right? Like, it's like the criteria is so high, like, so they probably would hire like 1 out of fucking 1,000 people, you know, like.
And the foundation just has to be super strong. And I listened to an interview of the Airbnb founder last month, and he also was like, the first hundreds of employees I hired myself. I was present in all the hiring calls, just because the foundation and the people we are hiring and the culture has to be like perfect, right? And in the end, we as CEOs, we probably are in the beginning the only ones who are really able to decide if it's the right fit or not. Of course, I have an awesome CEO and HR manager who's able to do it for me as well. But still, I will check the recordings and see if it's really the right fit for our company. Mm-hmm. So we hired lots of people who are able to work perfect and just do what we think. But for now, we will be hiring more intelligence for sure. And even there are tools where you can test people, right? You have personality test tools, for example, 60 personalities.
We always fucking do the
IQ test. I think you have test Gorilla. That's something that was shared to me in the mastermind that we built. Mm-hmm. We could quickly talk about masterminding as well, because I know you're really into masterminding, and this is something as of this year, it is probably already my biggest learning, like how fucking valuable masterminding actually is. But it can only be valuable to its maximum if the level of transparency is almost like 100%. Mm-hmm. And that level of transparency can only be 100% if it's like a super well-connected group with individuals who want to share it all. And that's what I told you in the beginning of the call as well. Like, and that's the mastermind that I created with Wouter, Marek, Michael, and Björn. And that's the calls that we are having each Saturday. And each Saturday we will enter the call like, what are your obstacles right now, and what will you do? What will you have done a week from now that could have fixed those obstacles for you? And it's just such a sick level of accountability and transparency. It opened my eyes as well. I have friends, which I'm being friends for 5 years or longer even. They're also in the e-commerce space. And even we together, we didn't even share our stores, but we are fucking friends. And then I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing over here? We are friends, right? We are in this together. We want to grow together. And if I'm fucking millionaire, I want you to be a millionaire, because we are going to do crazy fun stuff together. And why are we not solving and thinking about our problems together? Actually sit around the table, think of it. That's when I also invited two of my best friends, Luca and Tim, to come here in the office. We sit around the table, and it was really like, I'm not sure if you saw Queen's Gambit, the mini-series.
No,
Queen's Gambit. Okay, basically it's a mini-series about chess. Uh-huh. And there's a super strong point made in that series. There's like the main character, right? And she is from America, I think. Uh-huh. And then she has to face someone from Russia. Uh-huh. But everyone is super scared from those Russian people, because they are always better in the chess game. And there's like a scene where you see that Russian chess player talking with other Russian chess players about how he can beat her in the chess game. Mm-hmm. And that's also where they then say like that's where Americans sometimes lag, right? Everyone is so focused on themselves, and why are we not sitting around the table and then thinking of ways to do things together? And then there was a scene after that where you see all her friends from America sitting around the table. Mm-hmm. And then thinking for the main character how she can beat the Russian player. And that's when the next scene happened. I don't want to spoil it too much, but that really opened my eyes. And that's also why we called our mastermind with my friends. We didn't call it the Queen's Gambit, but we called it the King's Gambit. And it's pretty much also inspired on that media series, and we just sit around the table once a month at least and think of things together, right? Because real good solutions and ideas can only exist if they merge.
For sure.
So that's one of my biggest learnings, and I know you are also in like super valuable masterminds as well. And Wouter, for example, is now in a mastermind from the Patrick Bet-David guy, and even pays like $3,000 a month for it, and where he is only able to ask one question, but that one question can be a sick eye opener, right? If you're in the right environment, because it's not only you and your mastermind. And I only met Wouter, Marek, and Michael and Björn because I am in this course of you, right? Yeah. I probably would never have met them before.
You basically, you created a mastermind within our mastermind, right? Like,
that's what we did.
Fucking hilarious. And and we get, so we get like new people all the time, right? Like we get new people, and then like those people might bring the expertise and also level of our business. I think, we get people like, for example, when we will be, I think it will like 6-12 months when we'll be fully doing just like branding stuff, like the level of people will be also that they're doing branded stuff, right? Or the people that, for example, doing jobs, they'll see the level of our business, they'll also want to level up, So it's kind of like, it's like growing.
Leveling up constantly, right? With the people you surround yourself with.
Exactly.
And in the call, that was fucking valuable as well. It was like, all these calls that we are having on each Saturday are like so mind-blowing sometimes with the ideas that we generate and the solutions that we come up with. And then we were like, we need more sources of idea generation in our company. And how can we do that level of leadership development in our company that other employees would also have these kind of idea generation? And then Marek was like, dude, why don't we put our COOs in a Skype chat together? They will be talking together with each and every one of them each week as well, just as we are doing. And why don't we put our media buyers in a Skype chat as well? So now we created actually 3 masterminds where the CEOs talk together with us and the media buyers talk as well. And everyone is just sharing ideas, and it's basically one big group of value sharing. And that's awesome.
This is awesome, man. I think that's a big, because I mean, like, entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs for some reason. Like they start something, they figure something out, right? And they get something done oftentimes just by trial and error, right? I mean, it's like, for example, it's like, if you want to build like 8-figure business, if you like really determined, like you will fucking build it. Like you'll build it like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, fucking 20 years, but you'll fucking build it, right? You want to sell the business like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you'll do it. It's not a fucking question, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you're a fucking driven person, you have you're learning from your mistakes, but those things can fucking shortcut this fucking path.
You learn from mistakes from others, right?
What?
The mistakes have already been made.
It's like how much like one fucking mistake can cost, right? Like it's like $10,000-$20,000, like $50,000 if you pay.
And also like a year of your life, probably sometimes.
Yeah. I attribute like some of the biggest changes in my life, like positive, like fucking big fucking changes, It's like to something that I've learned from someone, like I was in mastermind, I've seen this person, even like the value of masterminds, like tactical things, it's like that you learn from like people, but also it's like strategies, but also like how to think, and also the like you might think about some person like, oh fuck, I mean they're so smart, but then you see them, right, and it becomes like more real, that person like success becomes like more real. Oh, they're not doing anything fucking special, I can do this shit, right?
Everyone is just doing shit, right? And just trying it out. And no one is like really, really special, because except probably like Elon Musk or something. But
that's like a big difference. You watch someone like, hey, on like featured on fucking Forbes, like Entrepreneur Magazine, like featured like everywhere. Like this guy is motherfucking genius, right? And then you talk to the guy, he's like fucking, he's like real fucking guy. He's a normal guy, he's just done some things, like learned some things, done them in a bit different way. This is fucking it. But that fucking change of belief, I think that's one of the biggest like values in the masterminds. Like if this fucking guy
everything is possible. it's just everyone starts somewhere, right? And eventually you can get there as well.
Exactly.
What I like, for example, about you and what's super strong about what you're doing, and it's something that Naval, I don't know if you know him, Naval Ravikant. Naval Ravikant. It's a podcast. He has like this podcast, How to Get Rich without getting lucky. It's a podcast I would recommend to everyone, all the listeners to this, and if you haven't listened to it as well. And I read his book this year. It's a Naval's Almanac. It's written by someone else who summarized all the learnings that he had of Naval. But it's something that you are doing very well already, and you are kind of like you're creating yourself as an individual that is a magnet to good connections and value, because you are there providing value. So this opens doors for you, right? You're able to talk with people that you would never have talked with if you will not have this online presence. And this value providing, you are there providing value, and people will come then to you, giving that value back to you. You can have conversations with people, share your things. You can invite everyone. If I didn't know you, if you were not the provider of value in my life that you've been, for example, we would not have been having this call, right?
For sure.
And you have built this around yourself.
I now learn from you, right? And people learn from you, right? And it's like it's inter-exchange, right? But it's definitely what you said is like massive, because like I can do one introduction to one person and introduce another person, and that one fucking connection can make them both like fucking, you know, millions of dollars. Because like let's say, like yesterday I had a conversation. One company, they do basically the banking, you know, and they have like 9,000 customers, online banking. And another company that does like funding, you know, for e-commerce businesses. So I know them both, like both have like tens of thousands of customers or tens of thousands of customers, right? So introduce them both, right? If they collaborate, if they like cross-sell their products to each other, that could be like fucking massive, you know, or integrate like each other's products into, you know, into the offer. So that's one fucking thing.
You can do that so quickly, like bring these connections together. And that's why I want, and I'm already telling this to myself for quite a while already, it's why I will be building like on my online presence as well in the future, because I just want to be that creator of my own connections. I want to be that creator of my own luck.
Yeah.
And it's something that Naval talks about as well. Like you have multiple types of luck. You can just be lucky, but you can also be the creator of your own luck. If you're out there talking with the specific knowledge that you're having, people will see that, and then people will be like, yeah, he's lucky. But in the meantime, you are there online talking with everyone, doing lots of things, and then you are just attracting all that kind of luck and connections to you. And basically you have just leveraged networking at its maximum, because you can reach out to someone in Skype, and then you will have maybe, if you're lucky, have a call with them, but chances are also there that they will be like, no man, I don't know you, but you have the conversations that you're having with me right now, for example, it will be placed on social media, and you will then be providing value to all your followers on YouTube. So that level of networking is leveraged to its maximum, and that's why I will be sharing things as well in the future around my passions, which are of course e-commerce, but lots of things as well, like mindset and health as well, of course, because in the end, if we are not healthy, it's impossible for us to be like the sharp leaders that we have to be.
For sure.
And that's something that I really learned in the past 3 years as well. In the beginning, we had like this 100% hustle, grind, hustle mentality. Yeah. But if you're not healthy and not well rested and not energetic, your decisions will be off, for example. Your energy will not be there. You cannot be as positive as you want to be in the calls that you're having. And being healthy results in being more energetic, then results in better decisions, and then in the end results in way faster growth. So
it's like, what is a business, right? Like, what is a business? Business is a product of this fucking boy right here, right? Like, this is fucking it. This is fucking it. Like, if this thing doesn't produce like fucking good thoughts and good ideas and is not focused, you have nothing. You know, like,
it's just
because
done.
And my trainer, like, fuck, I had the interview with him like yesterday. My trainer, like, he tried to get that into my head, and then like, fuck, I think it clicked at some point, you know, because if you take care, so I have, for example, the three times a week, like, personal trainer. It's like virtual, you know, so like he basically tells me what to do, I do it. Like, that shit just fucking sets the day, like, fucking, like, you know. He makes the menu, and like, you know, so the food quality, I think, like, probably the biggest fucking factor in health is probably food quality. I think bigger than fucking anything else.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, they say it all, like, you are what you eat. We are only eating healthy here, like almost only eating healthy. I can show you quickly something.
You look fit, man. You look fucking fit. I see, like, how you.
I can show you how, like, quickly, like, show around.
Yeah.
We built like our own gym in office, right?
That's fucking awesome, man. That's fucking awesome.
Like, we can deadlift here, we can squat over there, pull-ups there, we can do everything just here.
Very fucking.
I don't have to leave my office anymore. It's just fucking efficient. We're saving a lot of time. And by the way, this is funny as well. You know VPS, right? And remote control things.
Uh-huh.
So now we have this table over here, and we basically have like fucking 10 computers that are all being controlled with by our employees. So we built like our own private VPS kind of thing.
This is awesome, man.
But that's a hack for sure, man. Like having a gym in your office.
I mean, I have gym on my fucking balcony. It's like,
no, a small gym.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like 5 steps from my bedroom. So that helped me a lot as well, because I have a gym as well in my building, but it's like I have to use elevator. It's like fucking 30 floors down, and it's like, and then like in a gym they tell you, hey, you have to put your fucking mask on, and you're fucking suffocating. Like, you can't like even fucking breathe. Like, how can you fucking exercise?
No,
you know?
so that's not the ideal way to do it. And also, you just want to make those positive kind of habits as easy as they can be. The obstacle to actually executing that habit has to be as low as possible as it can. Like, and that's why I skip it sometimes, the gym, while it's in my fucking office. But imagine if it wouldn't be like the obstacle to actually execute the positive habits will be even higher. And that's also what the writer from Atomic Habits talks about. Like, just make all the positive habits as easy as they can be. And that's the same for good quality sleep, for example. Don't have your phone in your bedroom. Don't turn off on the lights after a specific amount of a specific time. Don't eat. That's also important. Like you said, food is number one, but I also experience like sleep is for me super important.
Yeah, sleep is fucking massive. Yeah, sleep. Yeah, I guess sleep. My trainer told me sleep, then food. Yeah, probably it's in that. And that exercise is probably like 3-4. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's important, but then it's a bit fun. But if you don't get like good sleep, you're pissed, you irritated, you probably will say things that you shouldn't fucking say. Then it will cause you fucking emotional fucking damage. Like, you will not make good fucking decisions. But you know where it fucking comes from? It's like fucking Gary Vee is like, I sleep like 4 fucking hours a day. It's like, how the
but that's the hustle mentality that's being projected on social media. And in the end, there are other CEOs as well. For example, if you listen to,
see how he looks. He doesn't look fucking healthy, that guy.
You want to be healthy as well, right? You want to be old and actually enjoy the successes that you made. And there are the opposites as well. If you listen to Jeff Bezos, for example, he only works X hours a day. He only makes like 3 decisions a day. And this morning is like
170 billion, right? Like,
yeah, like, damn. Yeah, so that's so like food, sleep, of course, and also I would say exercise. But for me, it's also like writing my diary, for example. I'm currently writing my diary already for 3 years. I think I have written 7 books full of just brain farts that I want to have somewhere on paper. I think it's kind of being more and more mainstream. Like, you don't have to go to a psychiatry. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Psychiatry, something like that. Like, people you talk with for your problems, right? A diary is kind of like a personal thing for you that you can reflect every day. That's something that the Stoics do as well. For example, like Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, for example, like really reflect on your day. Like, what are the things that I fucked up today, and could I have done things differently? And what am I going to do different tomorrow? And how am I going to improve tomorrow as an individual? Just really that reflection every day, and it's been a habit. I have not skipped a day in the last 3 years now. Like every night, I'm writing down in my diary, and I don't even actually read back in the pages. Sometimes I do reflection once a quarter or once a month, where I will kind of like film myself. It's a habit I kind of lost because it's somewhat time consuming, but where you will read through the pages or the things that you've written in the past and then reflect on them and see if you actually have executed on them, and if you can come up with improvements every day, but are you actually executing on that improvement? Are you actually executing on your thoughts and the things that you generate? And that's why I really started also building like a second brain, I would say. That's 400% sure my biggest learning of last year. It's a tool that we use, and it's Notion. I'm not sure if you know it, but it's kind of like Notion. Yeah, Notion.
Huh? No, don't know. But
it's like Trello, Asana, Google Sheets, Google Drive. It's everything in one tool. I know the Ben Francis from Gymshark.
That these guys created this. What's their name?
Well, what I do know is that Notion is the most valuable tool that I have ever been working with in my life.
Oh, really?
100%. It's like we as humans, we are not built to remember things, right? You really want to have that mental clarity to think about the things and decisions that are actually important. If I generate an idea while we're having this call, I have my notes open as well in Notion, because if out of this call I will generate ideas and improvements I will have to execute on, I can write them down on paper, and that's fine. But in the end, my paper will be like, holy fuck, this is so much, right? And that's just, we only have like an X amount of memories and things that we can store in our brain. So I just want to drop it somewhere, maybe add a status to it, like just sharing, brainstorm, discuss, notes, archived, inactive, or execute, right? Or if I want to execute upon that thought, that I have it stored somewhere, I don't have to think about it anymore. It's just there, and it's out of my brain. Now I have memory.
You unload it yourself. The cognitive load is fucking lower.
Now you have space to think about things that are actually important for you. And I hear lots of entrepreneurs struggling with this, because you're in your bed, and that's the moment where good ideas come to life, right? In the bed, in the shower, while you're walking.
Yeah.
Like those moments where you're not actively thinking, that's the moments where you really generate good ideas. And before, I always would take my notepad, write it down, and then I would forget about it, and I would never execute upon that thought. But now that I have it in my system, I'll place it in my system. I will actually add the status or the action item. It has to happen for me to undertake, or it has to happen for me to tell someone to the team, so it actually gets improved. And what we do daily as well, I told you about my diary where I do personal reflection every day. We do this actually with the whole company. Like the whole company, everyone has like a daily kickoff. And for your daily kickoff template, you will write down what's your today's great, right? What would make your day today great? And what's your not to do for today? Like one thing you have to do and one thing you don't have to do. And of course, your action items. That's something we discuss in the daily huddle. It's a daily kickoff huddle. So we have a quick conversation, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. We do it here in the office, and my team, my Philippine team, does it with my COO. So both conversations happen at different times, and I'm not present at the other call. And in the end of the day, we will have like our done to do meeting. That is like, what have you done today? Have you completed your today's great? Have you accomplished your not to do of today? Like, have you actually not done it? And have you generated specific learnings today? Have you generated specific thoughts? Do you have some improvements for tomorrow? Do you have some obstacles that you're facing?
So that's all in that app in Notion, or that
you can create everything that you want to create in Notion. Yeah. Like, seriously, like everything. The learning curve is present. Sometimes can be a bit hard for people, and I can share my screen and then you can get an idea of it.
Oh, okay.
So basically we have the daily kickoff, and then this is the question like, are the projects that you're working on currently causing the biggest impact and the maximum growth, right? Then you will have your daily kickoff where you will fill in what your mood is in like weather. So weather can be like sunny, a bit sunny, partly cloudy, rainy, snowy, and stormy. So then we also know like, how is our team feeling today? Is there something we have to talk about? Why are you frustrated? Mm-hmm. I don't want to have people running around in our business and having thoughts that they are scared of sharing. So we just make constructive criticism like super open. And at the end of the day, you will fill in like, you also fill in your mood, right? Let's go happy, fine, angry, crazy, relaxed, irritated, downset. And you would fill in, we all have like aura thing, you have it as well, right?
Aura, yeah, up.
Yeah. So everyone in our team has it. And everyone fills in the sleep score and the readiness score. And at the end of the day, we will fill in the output and the mood of the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And in my template, we have the today's grades of everyone. We have the action items of everyone. We have the bottlenecks. We have the goals of everyone. Quotes, obstacles, accomplishment, disappointments, criticism, recommendations, learnings, improvements, decisions of today, compliments of today, gratitude of today, and thoughts, ideas generated.
I don't want to, and I know you're a busy man too. So
I just checked my watch. I was like, holy shit, man, it's already.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk. I think what we'll do is like we'll have another conversation, and we'll just go deep into that stuff, because I think there's so many valuable insights for people who want to like grow in all directions, like not just business, but getting healthier, being like more productive, team building, and all of those things, because you deliver so much value.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Yeah, I love to. I will share everything. Like I love sharing the knowledge, and I know that in the end it will all come back to me, right? So.
Man, thank you so much for jumping on this call, and I mean, I'm looking forward. I'm glad you got value from the program. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at 8-figure, 9-figure level, which you'll be there like in a few years. I'm 100%.
Yeah, I will be looking forward to the both of us providing the maximum amount of value that we can provide.
Sure, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. It was an amazing call with Dante. So if you guys, I will drop Dante like Instagram, Facebook, so you can connect with him if you want.
My YouTube is D Goodhart. It's currently in Dutch, but in the future I will be releasing some English content as well. So yeah, you can also find me on Instagram on @Daantje_Goedhart.
Oh, it's the last name, man. Like I'll put it below, I guess. It's like our last name.
You can try it.
I mean, like why like Elon Musk? I mean, what could be fucking simpler, right? Like it's
Elon Musk. Dumb.
It's a simple fucking last name. We should shorten our last names.
Yeah, you already did the rebranding, right? Alex Fedotov. It's perfect.
Yeah. Cool, man. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Dante, thank you so much for joining me.
Adios. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. It was nice.
Yeah. Bye-bye.